Hi loves, I'm going to be doing a reading for the month of November, and I'm going to be expanding my offerings a little bit more and maybe offering some different type of readings for you. So I'm going to be using first here to get a look at the overall energy for the month, and it is the Animal Spirit deck. And we'll go ahead and look. And the card that comes out is the Phoenix, which I literally was just talking about this the other day. We just experienced Halloween, which for the wise woman is actually her new year. And the Phoenix, as we enter the Scorpio season, it's about death, transformation, and rebirth. It's about becoming the ashes in order to rise from the ashes. And the ashes, the fire, burns the detritus. It allows things that are no longer serving us to wither and to die and to fade away. And that can be the thing that no longer serving us is the old version of ourselves, the old framework of ourselves, the old form of ourselves, knowing that energy is never created or destroyed. So you're just shape-shifting into a new form, burning out those samskaras, those limiting beliefs, those beliefs create behaviors and patterns. So you actually have to release behaviors and patterns. And maybe during this time, it may not feel totally solid. You might feel volatile, but you're shifting. If you've done a lot of work internally to shift beliefs, you're going to have to shift patterns and behaviors associated with those beliefs. So one of the things that I've been saying is I'm a priority. So I have to actually not just say it on a consciousness level, I have to embody it and shift my behaviors and patterns to align with myself being a priority. And we're just entering this shadow season. And you know, being a divine feminine or divine masculine is integrating both the light and the shade, having it all, which makes you a whole, complete person. And distorted masculine and a distorted feminine is actually rejecting those shadow parts of ourselves and those things that we don't like. And you know, I've definitely been in that space of fear of rejection when I actually take a step back and look at that the thing I was rejecting the most was myself and who I authentically am. And instead of constantly scrubbing and perfecting these parts of ourselves, just totally allowing ourselves to be and accepting as is. I'm going to be pulling some additional energy from the Fountain Tarot and the cards. Ooh. Whoa. Oh my God. All right. So the cards that we get coming out right now, the Tower, Justice, and the Page of Swords. So first talking towards about, you know, looking at these cards together with the Tower. The Tower essentially, it's when a person's in prison, they can either look at the mud or they can look at the stars. And a tower moment is a total deconstruction of the mortar, the foundation of the form that previously kept us stuck. And a lot of people are actually scared of the tower. It can be a deconstruction of our old self. And when we realize that no man can serve two masters, you can't hold the consciousness of being someone that's totally accepted in the consciousness of something being that's unacceptable. And you can't hold the consciousness of these two things without one having to be released. And so sometimes what happens is called an echo. And so all those old fears, all those old limiting beliefs actually come to the surface and are totally deconstructed, and you face them head on. You face your fears. That is what Scorpio season's about. Facing your fears and allowing that to crumble and wither in front of your eyes and claim who it is that you really want to be. We're seeing this card of justice coming through. Divine justice. One of the things I like to say is I'm creating the feeling of divine justice and experiencing it within. So things that have felt maybe unfair for us, or actually stepping into a place of feeling worthy and deserving of experiencing justice, amends, things balancing out, karmic cycles completing as well, and that shift in the way that things have been. And part of that is actually stepping into our own power and being in this place of knowing that I can have exactly what I want and I don't have to settle for what I can get. And ironically, a few weeks ago, I started saying, I don't believe in settling. I'm not available for less than what I want. I'm not available for breadcrumbs. So the universe had to push out situations where I had to actually communicate externally with that part of me that used to believe that I would just take what I could get. So this balancing of these cycles. Then we're experiencing also the Page of Swords. So this truth, like grounding in your own truth and being in this place as well. And this is somebody who maybe doesn't feel totally confident in speaking their truth and being totally accepted as is. But when truth has a certain frequency. When we are afraid of our truth, we are ashamed of it. And shame is one of the lowest levels of consciousness. And when we have the courage to speak our truth, we actually move up in the levels of consciousness, out of force and into power. And really sitting and residing in your authentic truth of who you truly are. And almost this energy of like, I'm learning how to literally not give a fuck what other people think about my truth and who I am, and embracing all parts of myself. All right. So that's the energy. Like, what is coming next for us as well during this time period? Interesting. Okay, the cards that are coming out. The Four of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Six of Wands. So looking here, the Four of Cups here. There's one cup being offered, and there's three emptied, spilled cups. And so it can be almost a state of like apathy, or I don't care anymore. I'm just going to shut that part off of me. And that's okay. It's okay to be in that state. It's okay to embrace all those emotions. What we resist persists, and we actually resist our emotions and reject it. And we want to look at ourselves in a different way. That is distorted masculine and distorted feminine energy, to reject even those quote unquote shade parts of ourselves. When we put the shadows in chains, we actually rob ourselves of our grace and our wholeness. When we don't embrace our anger, when we don't embrace our sadness, when we don't embrace our apathy, we actually rob ourselves of our joy and our love and our bliss, because it's all one and the same. It's energy in motions. Emotions are energy in motion. So if you want to be in a place where you don't want to feel, you don't want to flow, you don't allow things through, there's no motion. There's no energy and emotion. You're actually living half life. So right now, I feel like this person's kind of a little despondent, a little sad, a little dismayed, a little bit perplexed, and being okay with the uncertainty, because from the uncertainty, all possibilities exist when things are uncertain, and not knowing maybe which direction to take at this time. And one of the things is I keep saying, I don't know where I want to live. I don't know where I want to do. I don't know where I want to go. So I've been consciously saying, even though at this red hot 3D moment, I don't know where I want to be. I don't know what I want to do. I've been shifting it to, I know what I want to be. I know where I want to go. I know what my next step is. All of those kind of things. All right, and then the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords, swords are words, criticism, harsh words, lessons, transmuting the wisdom of the past into lessons. And it's a decision to move forward. And it's not necessarily a decision to move on, but it's a decision to move forward. So it's really a full commitment. This is what I'm hearing, a full commitment to let go, just like the Tower, of those stories, those things that are no longer serving you anymore, and to really move forward, stepping fully into that new version of yourself and allowing it to reflect back through other people as well. So that decision to really totally move on, forward from the past, forward from the wounds of the past. And I was listening to something about what's the difference between us and Christ or an avatar. And the person said, oh, well, they have unconditional love. No, we have unconditional love already. It's just that they have unconditional love and nothing else. They've closed off all their wounds and dissolved them. And a lot of us, including myself, have lived from a place of my wounds instead of my worth. So totally closing off and dissolving those wounds and making a clear decision to no longer let those stories come through anymore. And that's going to move you into the Six of Wands energy, which is victory, success, celebration, power. Like, when I think about this, I think of like the triumphant return of Christ into Jerusalem. So that triumphant return, that's really what's coming forth, is that Phoenix energy that's been coming through, is this triumphant return to self, triumphant return to self. You can comment that down below. I triumphant return to myself. I am the Phoenix. I am the mythological Phoenix. I transform. I become the ashes to rise from the ashes. And I'm triumphantly returning to myself and no longer rejecting any parts of myself, no longer rejecting my shadow, only focusing on my light, because my shadow is just my light. It is all just one and the same. Okay. Whew. All right. Got a little bit passionate about that. What is passion but love and anger? All right, I'm going to be pulling from the Wisdom of the Avalon. Oh, fuck yeah. I literally said today, I am the dragon. So again, that energy. This is power and strength and the Phoenix. It is totally stepping up into your power, totally stepping up into your truth, totally stepping up into your courage, a decision to not let anything hold you back from what it is that you desire. A friend was telling me this morning, make your dreams so loud that people doubt you. Like, let them doubt you and push through anyways. You're the one who's living your life. You don't need anybody else's approval but your own. So really stepping back into your power and your strength and knowing who you truly are. You're the dragon. That fire-breathing dragon. So taking those fears that felt like the dragon and actually transmuting them and becoming the dragon yourself. All right, then I'm going to also be pulling from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. Interesting. It's the Desert Prince. Survival, false promises. So it's kind of interesting we get that desert energy as well, and the lion here as well. So maybe there's been some disappointment with somebody in your life, some feelings of broken or empty promises as well. And how can we shift our perspective and our viewpoint of it? But you also don't have to at this time. Maybe that came from a place of survival for themselves. Don't really know what else to say about this one. So I'm just gonna leave it, to be quite honest. All right, and then I'm gonna pull 3 cards from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Wow, okay. Interesting. So we get the 10 of Swords. Don't click off. Don't be afraid of these cards. They're wonderful. They're messages. They're transmutation. It's the alchemist transmuting that metal into gold. So the 10 of Swords, this is an ending of a cycle, but 10 means an ending of a cycle coupled with a new beginning. And right down here in his hands says, as above, so below. And it's almost like things are not all that it seems. This person has felt stabbed in the back, but this is almost like a complete metamorphosis. This robe kind of surrendering a victory. And right here, the dawn in the background. So it's darkest before the dawn. The dawn is coming. Things are not all as they seem. As above, so below. So trusting what's below, what's coming and been percolating up from here is eventually going to push out into the surface. So it's darkest before the dawn. And then we get the Page of Pentacles. So interesting that the Page of Swords came out as well. And then now we have the Page of Pentacles. So somebody kind of stepping into their truth. It's something that's not been as known to them, that maybe they're a little timid about. And then maybe even Page of Pentacles, stepping into some kind of new beginning for yourself. This can be a new shift physically, financially, materially, or stepping into learning how to kind of stabilize, have that solidity in yourself and that grounding in yourself, and not needing confirmation from anyone or any other thing at this time. And then finally, the Four of Wands. This is a card of celebration. It's the portal card. It's union. And it's the 1111 card as well. So after all of this kind of feeling of chaos and deconstruction comes this clearing forward. Yeah, that's the word that's come out, is that there's been this purification process, which has actually been preparation for your celebration, your union. That can be inner union with yourself. It can be union with another. It can be integrating union of the light and the shade and coming into whole completeness of oneself. All right, and then lastly, I could keep going on, but true love reading cards. Oh, beautiful. All right, echoing along those lines, can't make this up. The Swans, this is commitment. And it's also, could be twin flames as well. We see the full moon here. So maybe something happening around the full moon for you. Commitment to oneself, union with oneself, inner union, commitment with another person, commitment in a partnership. It can apply to a lot of different things. So coming together, inner union. When you come into union with oneself, you can come into union with other people as well. So stepping unapologetically into that energy right now, becoming the phoenix, becoming that dragon. So I'll leave that reading here, and I love you, I value you, I accept you. We are limitless. So mote it be, as I speak it, I create it, sealed with a kiss.